we've covered the console EQ now, how to use the compression modules, and then the differences between the tracks and the mix buses and master bus. So let's put these all in action. I want to take the guitars and I want to do some EQing, compressing, and then panning and volume checking on all of these instruments as a section. I've already used the spill function, so I can only see these guitar tracks. It's the 2 acoustics, these 2 electrics, and these 2 electrics over here. And then in the editor window, I've set up a loop range. And taking a listen, this is what we're going to be working on. So that's nothing mixed. All there is the gain staging that's been used for the volume fader on the tracks. So let's start off with the acoustic. So I'm going to mute all these other tracks and just have this acoustic soloed. Listening to it. On the EQ, let's do a slight bass boost at about 300 Hertz. Giving it some more body to the acoustic. And the mids can be cut a bit. So somewhere around about 2000 Hertz. And you can actually boost it to hear the frequency area that you don't want. So you can do a gain, find the problematic area, and then cut it. And to give a bit more presence, maybe a bit more boost on the high band. So boost it quite a bit. It's quite nice at about 5000 Hertz. You can also use the low pass filter to cut out any low frequencies that are needed. Around about 100 Hertz will do. For the EQ-B4, sounding okay, but now with that extra body, that's sounding really good. Now, for compression on EQ, this limiter mode works really well. Let's pull down the threshold. It's a bit too much. Increase the release. So it just gives a bit more percussion to the acoustic and some makeup gain. So before the compression and the EQ, and now with EQ and compression. Yeah, that's working pretty well. Now let's jump across onto this acoustic and do some similar processing, starting off with the EQ. Maybe also a bit of a low band boost. Mid again. That's the band that I don't want. And some presence. That's good around that area. So that's at about 6000 Hertz with about 6 dB of gain increase. And the high pass filter. Now onto the compressor, let's also use a limiter. Pull the threshold down and increase the release. So before, a bit boxy and a bit more opened up. Now with both acoustics. That's pretty cool. But to make it even better, let's pan one to the other side, giving a much wider sound now. Maybe not as wide. And I can hear that this one's a bit too loud now, so let's bring that down. Cool. That's sounding good with those acoustics. And let's mute those and move over onto these guitars over here. First, this guitar. Starting with some EQ. There's not really any lows there, so I'm not going to use anything on that EQ. On the mids, let's do a boost. That's pretty nice with a bit of a mid boost. And then maybe some extra presence on the high band. And a high pass filter cut. Before, just slightly boosting those mids. Now for the compression, let's use the compression module. This will work pretty well with the high ratio. Pull the threshold down. So makeup gain. So before. And sounding good. Now onto this guitar. Some EQ. Also maybe a mid boost. And maybe not as much of a high. Let's just do a bit of a dip. Just for something different. And same with this. Let's use the compression module. With a high ratio. And a gain makeup before. And with the compression and EQ. Yeah, it's working well. The compression just squashes the dynamics a bit, makes it a bit more clear. Now hearing both electrics. Try some panning. And hearing it with the acoustics. Maybe drop those acoustic levels. Yeah, it's sounding good. And lastly, let's go over these two electrics over here. Starting off with this one. Let's try a bit of a low boost. That's good. Cut some of the mid maybe. And a boost in the high band. Yeah, I don't think that's actually needed. And then maybe just a high cut. I forgot this one actually needs a high cut as well, so I'll just pull that in. And using the compression module. So we've got some makeup gain, some gain reduction, threshold at about minus 23 dB, and a 4.5 to 1 ratio. Now this last guitar, let's check this out. Try mid boost. And some presence in the high gain. I think it just needs the mid boost and then a high cut. And in the same, we can use some compression. Have a long ratio. Pull this down. Maybe not such a high ratio. Yeah, that's sounding pretty good. So now, let's just hear, actually keep those muted. Let's just hear these two guitars together. Maybe try some panning with them. And then with the other instruments in the guitar section. Some slight volume adjustments. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So now we have a nice mix with the EQs and compressors on the guitars. Now let's check out some mix bus processing on the guitars here. There's some drive. And I want to show you this mono stereo button. So I'm going to keep it quite wide with the stereo and then drag this down so you can hear how it sort of decreases the stereo width. And sometimes it's quite nice to do this. Here it's more mono. And here it's more stereo. It's quite nice just to pull this in. Awesome. Just to show you how far we came, let's take off all the EQs and all the compression. And also bypass this drive and stereo. So this is before. Now the EQing, the compression, and the mono to stereo. And drive. And hearing it as well with the drums. Awesome. That's sounding pretty cool. So there you got to see how you can use your channel EQing across a selection of tracks. Then how you can use the different compression modules on these guitars, and these guitars are sent through to the mix bus, and how we used some slight drive saturation and some mono stereo width adjustments to process that guitar bus. So now you're getting a really good idea on how to use these channel strips and mix bus features. Now next, let me show you how to use a mix bus as a reverb send effect. Catch you in the next video.